Hi there. Welcome back to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. We're going to continue working on Infelice. So this will be Infelice, which will be on part 4 today. I'm hoping that we can put a really good dent in choosing the papers and getting them ready to start making her interior. The last time we were together, I chose this really delicately colored polka dot paper that's going to be her end papers. And I chose this fabric that's going to go inside to sew her signatures to. So now what I like to do before I go any further is to make sure I've chosen the right amount of pages for to create the signatures to go into her. So I've selected here from my stash of tea-dyed papers. I want to use a lot of tea-dyed papers. I'm really leaning lately a lot towards less papers that are you're not able to write on. I'm really enjoying making journals, sort of going back a bit, stepping back from the clutter of a junk journal, and really focusing on making a lovely journal that can be used for writing in, or also used for putting memorabilia into. So that's right now what I'm feeling like I want to do with Infelice. So, and I apologize if I'm butchering that pronunciation. Maybe by the end of this whole series, I'll have it mastered, but I can't make any promises. One of my favorite kind of leaves to put into a book comes from my beloved guest books. I love guest books. For some reason, they find me at thrift stores, and I have a lot of them. So I've got a few pages from different kinds of guest books. I have some paper, quilting paper, which I thought was appropriate because this story takes place in the Old South, and they certainly would have been quilting back then to make blankets for decoration and for useful purpose, keeping warm. I have some grid paper that has been tea-dyed. Some blank music paper. This has actually been coffee-dyed. I wasn't enjoying my coffee-dyed paper, but I have discovered, because I put it aside because I wasn't enjoying it because of the smell. I just sniffed it. I'm sorry if you wondered, what the heck is she doing? I sniffed it. I wasn't enjoying the smell of coffee-dyed paper, and I put them aside and thought, I'm not using those anymore. Well, then I sort of rediscovered them, and it turns out if you just be patient and leave them be, the smell dissipates, and it actually smells like nothing now. So I may, if I can be patient, I may go back and coffee dye some more paper, because I do like the difference in the shade. Coffee dyeing, it's less of an orangey color. Orange picot tea, or black tea as some people call it, can have a bit of an orangey tone to it, whereas coffee really has a nice warm brown tone to it. So if I can be patient, I will, I think this week I will coffee dye some more paper and put it into my winter stash. I have some tea-dyed, no, actually I think this is also from my coffee-dyed. Pardon me while I sniff it. Yeah, I can't tell. From a reprint of a Sears Roebuck catalog. So it's not really an old one. I've cut it out of the book and dyed them to make them look old. This book, boy, it's a fabulous book if you can ever find it. And I know it's on Amazon. So those of you who buy things brand new, take a look, because I checked on Amazon and it's there. So just look for, type in Sears Roebuck catalog, it'll come up. I have some pages from that gardener's journal that I have also dyed, and we'll be putting some of these in to the signatures. I have some ledger paper and also just some blue legal-sized paper that I recently dyed, and I really love the color of this. It's quite bizarre, and I think it'll look nice with the color maybe I need to start calling her Regina. This young lady on the front cover, she's the main character, and her name is Regina. So anyhow, this, then I can stop butchering how to pronounce the title of this. I thought the blue looked nice. So, and I may actually grab a few more of these sheets. I might put one sheet per signature in these, in that. And then I have just some blank tea-dyed legal size paper that's also going to be going in. My goal is 5 signatures. Just from making other journals, I've pretty well learned that I enjoy my signatures having 5 leaf spreads, or 5 leaves or leaf spreads. And what I mean by a spread is when you have your paper that's going to be eventually bundled together and sewn in, this is a spread. So it actually is 4 pages of your book when you think about it. There's page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4. And if you start bundling these together, then you're getting even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's, I just call them a leaf spread. And I'm sure there's actually an official name for it. But you're watching how I do the book. And how I do the book is I call it a spread. So I've learned in my signatures, I usually like about 5 leaf spreads so it doesn't get too bulky, and when it's sewn in, it really looks nice. You get a nice finished product. And that will give you, with 5 spreads in your signature, you'll get 20 pages. So with 5 signatures in this book, that will give us 100 pages, a 100-page journal. So, and that's just your pages. That's not going to be including all your journaling cards and maybe some little notepads that you're also going to make. By being careful how many pages you put in, more pages isn't always better, because more pages will cut back on the fun things that you can put in if you want to. Then your journal will be too bulky, and then you'll end up with what they call, I guess, is it alligator mouth or crocodile mouth? It's when your book should be like this, and you've stuffed so much into it that your book actually lays like this. And it should only lay like this after you've actually finished using the book to the bitter end and it's full of all your memories. So I have these tea-dyed papers ready. Now what I want to do next is, they're not ready. We're going to be cutting them down to size, but they're chosen. What I want to do next is I've chosen some books that I want to pull from to also use so that we have variety and it's not just blank paper. So I've already pulled out of a gardening book this spread. I've got this old English gardening book, and I've pulled a spread on roses. So I thought that would go in. I'm putting that in my pile. I've also have this spread from my Italian English dictionary that has the word Infelice. Where are you? I-G-O. I'm looking at the wrong. I'm trying to look at it through the. Oh, come on. I-D. Oh, come on. I-L-M. Jeepers. I-N-D-D-D. It's not even on this page. Oh, bear with me. I implore your patience. There we go. All that for that. But those are the little things that I love putting in my journals. That's how fussy I am. I could drive myself mad. But, and the new owner may not even know that it's in there, but I send it away knowing that I took the time to make sure that I've got the title of the book somewhere in the book. So I'm going to pull a couple of pages out of this book because it's about antiques. So I figure there's bound to be some good old illustrations. This is really nice, tough paper, and it's already a nice size. I'm not going to have to trim much off of it to fit it down to Infelice. And I like this paper. It's not shiny. It's a nice matte, creamy color. So I'm going to just take a look through and see. There's some cool illustrations here. I think I like that. This book, as you can see, I always put my Post-it notes in so that if I can know ahead of time what the copyright date is, I do. So this is a nice old book that's in beautiful condition. I'm going to see if I can find the signature threads. I hope this one has signature threads. Sometimes they don't. Come on, where are you? And I'm worried that this one doesn't. It's got those funny marks that I see down here, and I think this is one of the... Oh, no, it does have signature threads. Okay, I've already got into it. Oh, my goodness. You guys, you've subscribed to Catherine the Scatterbrained Junk Journaler. It's sort of like watching... and I'm in the right age group, too. Golden Girl starts making junk journals. Yeah. Well, that's me. Okay, so a loaf of bread and hyacinths. I like that. I like when there's something curious. All right, so I need to get this open a bit more so I can get my crafty X-Acto knife right in there to where those threads are. See what I'm talking about with these threads with this signature. And I have my favorite thread signature cutting X-Acto that I only use because I've curved the end of that blade so that it slips underneath nicely, and I can pick up those threads and cut them. And I don't hack away at papers anymore like I used to. I think there's still another thread there. Come on. Yep, there you are. Come on, behave yourself. There we go. Usually there's 2 threads per loop. So just feel around and you'll find them. And then just give it a little wiggle. All right, why are you not coming out? Is there another thread? Yep. Aha. Hence, being gentle is a good thing. I would have sliced right through that. There we go. Nope, nope, there's another one there. Look at that. You're being a little stinker. Yeah. All right, now you'll come out, you loaf of bread and hyacinths. Come on. There we go. All right, I'm going to take 2 because I might end up wanting 2. So that's going... Oh, I like that. Okay, I'll have to try and remember that, but you know I won't. I'm Golden Girl. I have a book of crochet patterns. Oh, I didn't know you were in there. I never know what I'm going to find because I get these thrift stores. I like these papers because they are, again, a creamy color and they're matte. And quite often, pattern books for crocheting and knitting are glossy. But this one is nice. Oh, I love that. First Love. Okay, that's going in. All right, now this one is stapled. So I want to find those staples. Hold on, here's my little knife. I open up the staples first. I hope my head's not in here. I never know. Be careful when you're pointing a knife towards yourself, because if that knife slips, you guys could be witnessing my demise right now. Good thing we're not live streaming. So I move this hand out of the way. That way, I guess it will only disembowel me. There we go. All right, and then I get this guy and pull those out. Out you come. Out you come. There we go. All right, now I want to go back and find that one with the young man and wooing the young lady. I want you in. All right, that's going to be nice. So obviously, as you can tell, I'm pulling way too many papers, but I'd rather have papers to choose from when I finally sit down and decide, ooh, I want this, and ooh, I want that. So I've already chosen. I have an old recipe book from a church put together, recipes. So I'm going to be using washi tape and joining those together, and that will go in as a leaf spread. Now I have, here we go, I'm going to use, I'm thinking I might use 2 spreads from my Edith Holden. So, I wonder which one I want. Are you single? You've already been cut. Okay. Let's see which one I want. Sometimes I decide based on what would get cut off. Where's my block of papers? Hold on, I'm going to get my block of papers because I want to see. Let me take one of these off. This is the old block, don't worry. I'm not, this will, after I finish making tuckies and all that, that will go into the recycling most likely. All right, so here is one of the original spreads. That gives me a better idea. Because sometimes, see, that's going to work nicely. I think I could successfully, rather than, what I'm talking about here is, if I use this precious Edith Holden spread as is, I will actually need to cut off a lot of it, and I will lose all of this on both sides, which is just sacrilege with Edith Holden. So, but if I turn this sideways, look at this, I can actually fit, I can make one of these sheets into a spread. And even though I can tell already it's going to be a little bit short, this will be one of the pages that I probably will put lace on. So it won't be noticeable that these pages are slightly short. Now, I wonder if there's any... Oh, I like the birds. And that one's got illustrations on both sides. And that one... Okay, I'm going to use this one. That one's going in. That's going in. So that's my... I keep this clear for me to see because, as I've mentioned, I am like a golden girl. I'm like... Who's the one that Betty White plays? I'm like Betty White, the Golden Girls. So I put this very clear here because I do have a few copies. I've been very lucky finding this book at thrift stores, and I've got backup copies for when this one gets emptied out too, and then I can get started into it. But I didn't want to find myself with 2 and 3 cut open copies. So this is my cutting copy. And I do have one copy that's just for me to keep because it's such a beautiful book. And then I do have backup copies. I find them for $1 at my book sale. Seriously, it's worth probably buying a ticket for a flight to Canada and going to teeny tiny little Kirby, Ontario. I'm not kidding you. And going to the book sale that I go to on every Saturday during the warm months, because this old church doesn't have a furnace and they can't heat it in the winter, so they close down at the end of November and they don't open again until April. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of, because I really want this journal to be lovely, so it is absolutely worthy of Edith Holden to go in. And I found this book the other day at one of my other book sales. Oh, I got it at my Mission thrift store. And it was only $1.99, and I bet I've used it in a haul. I'm not sure if I've shown this one in a haul. It's gorgeous. It's utterly beautiful. It's very similar. It's in the spirit of Edith Holden. It has just beautiful watercolor botanicals on creamy colored matte thick paper, and it's just stunningly beautiful. So I think I'd like to look through here and see if I can find a blue one. There's a blue one. That's Forget-Me-Nots. I tend to hang on to my Forget-Me-Nots for me because someday I want to make a journal for my mom. And for me, Forget-Me-Nots remind me of my mom. There's blue. Oh, and there's a beautiful toad. Okay. Oh, I love that toad. Oh, but there's this on the back. No, you know what? You gotta go for it. You can't save everything for what if. I want that toad. All right, where is my... Exacto. Here's our threads. Let's go for it. There we go. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. Did I get them both? I did. All right. There we go. All right, Jim. All right, come on. Just give it a little wiggle and ease it out, because even if the threads are cut, sometimes you can still rip through the paper by accident if they're being stubborn. Okay, come on. Let's go. I love this book. Look how huge that spread is. I'm going to have to think good and hard about what I want to do with that, because boy, I love both sides. And I do not scan. Even if something's old enough that I can scan, it's just me. It's just my personal challenge. When you get one of my books, you're really getting the real deal. You're not getting scanned things. You're actually getting this page out of this book. So look at that handsome toad. He's lovely with the little beetle there. Oh. All right, I think that's all I can do for this afternoon, because I'm looking at the clock here. And it's 4:15, and it's Sunday, and I have to go stuff a chicken and get it in the oven, or else hubby and I are not going to eat. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll get in another little installment tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to start cutting these to the right size. I make a template from one of the old spreads, and then we're going to start cutting these and making our 5 signatures folded together, so we can get a better idea of how fat or how Renoirish Infelice is going to be. Thanks for visiting, guys, and talk to you soon. Take care.